All right, welcome. Sorry for the issues in the previous. We're going to go back from the top. Let's check this out because this is some exciting news, the latest, and this is a big update because we have the actual unit, what it's going to look like, the controllers. Those of you that haven't bought one can now buy one. Those of you that backed it already can buy another one. A lot going on, and I should have a unit soon. They're shipping out review units within the next week or two, so I'm gonna have my hands on one of them. So a lot going on here. I didn't check the chat last time because I wanted to just go through everything first, and then we'll ask questions and answer questions in the chat. So now we have audio, we're good. So Dreamcade Replay, latest update, final specs and pre-orders begin. So this first paragraph, don't have to really worry about. Basically, they are getting their final steps done. They've found a manufacturer, they printed instruction manuals, things like that. We're good to go. Final specs have been confirmed. So with the final specs, we have the Apollo Lake 2.4 gigahertz CPU with the Intel GPU combo. And basically, this was known about, I don't know, around the new year, was that they went away from the original processor and they updated it to this. So it will finally be the 2.4 gigahertz. And skipping to the last sentence of this paragraph, they were tested up to 4 hours in full max turbo at the 2.4, the maximum processor speeds, all the cores being maxed out and all that stuff. And they claim up to 4 hours guaranteed, but they're saying it should work indefinitely, and I imagine it would as well. We are going to have 4 gigabytes of RAM, a 32 gigabyte SSD. Don't get excited about that because there's Windows 10 on it. You will want some sort of external storage. We can talk about that in a moment. HDMI and VGA for your video output. You have Wi-Fi and plug internet ready for you, micro SD support, M2 card support, and USB 3.0. USB 3.0, we're actually going to have 2 on the side, on the right side of it, and one 2.0 on the right side, and then one USB 2.0 on the back side. Some people are a little upset about this. You know, they want the ports to be in the front. Like, come on, that's how gaming systems work. Myself, I'm not really too concerned about it because I use dongles. Where's my dongle? But anyways, like, you know, like a flash drive looking thing. You know, I don't mind a dongle. Here we go. A little dongle hanging out the side. But some people wish that the ports were separately. But let's not get too off track here. We are going to have 4 ports, which is nice. Moving along, optional hard drive base shown. So you will have the option to buy an optional hard drive base. So here it is as is. For those of you that backed it, it'll look something just like this. For those of you that want to add on, or you buy it with the hard drive base, basically it's a riser. It rises up the unit just a little bit, and it incorporates a hard drive. So fairly simple, but some people like it, some people don't. You do have the option. This is not really that important. The next paragraph, basically they have 2 companies. They have one that makes arcade cabinets with big 40-inch screen TVs on them and arcade buttons. And then they have the Dreamcade Replay. They've separated those 2 into 2 separate companies versus one company, probably for legal reasons, tax reasons, and accounting reasons. That's typically why people do that. We started sending out Kickstarter surveys. Okay, so there's surveys going out, not that important. Now here's what's really cool, which is they now have a store. So I'm going to start out with the special backer pricing. So here are the units. It does have working LEDs. The actual case, a lot of people are upset about this. Not a lot, but I would say there's been some people that are very vocal about this and others that don't really care. I'm kind of in the middle. But basically, when you first got the Dreamcade Replay, it looks like an Atari, it looks like a retro gaming console, and so when people saw it, they'd be like, oh wow, what is that when they come to your house? Similar to like the Paramount case from C4 Labs that I did a review on recently. But now it's just this modern thing, and a lot of people don't like modern. You know, we got this because we're retro gamers. We want it to look retro. Now, the one thing I'm hopeful about is, if you remember, we go back to the stretch goals, that one of the stretch goals was customizable decals for the replay. So I am hoping that they make some sort of decals or something that makes it just look a little different or something, you know, just so I can have that kind of customization. Because I would have to agree with what I've read on the forums, which right now, you know, I would probably just tuck this away behind my TV. I wouldn't want this to necessarily be a display piece, for example. But some people like that kind of sleeper mount, wall mount, things like that, where you can't really see it. So there's some people like it, some people don't. Now, pricing. Some people are a little upset because if you look at this, it's $129 in the backer store. So this store is, if you can see here, backers, this store is the store for those of you that have already previously backed the Kickstarter. Then they have the regular store for those normal people, no, those people that didn't back the Kickstarter. They didn't tie up their money since last year waiting on one of these units. Now, some people are upset because look, 129 and 129, they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. How come I gave you my money up front and you're giving the same perks as somebody who didn't? What the heck, man? So something you should know, it's not exactly like that. There's a couple. First of all, if you read this, the right here, it says, don't worry. No, not this one. Okay, here you go. While they won't get the same upgrades, freebies, and pricing as the original backers. That is correct. So back to here, as you can see, they're not going to get the free casino and card game pack, the free sports game pack, the 4-player game pack. They're not going to get those things. So a couple little perks for us first people. The other thing they're not going to get is I bought this with the $99.99 bundle. So that was a benefit for those of you that backed it, that those of you that didn't back it can get. So this is no longer an option. So that was cool. For those of you that backed it, got the cheaper option, the $99 option. The other thing that is different is this $129.90, this $129 pricing gives you with the optional hard drive base plus the controller. Where over here, the $129 only gets you the Dreamcade replay without the optional hard drive bay for $129. So basically, it's a $20 value. If you look at the hard drive bays, we're $20 here. Okay, so the pricing is different, the perks are different, and you couldn't have got the $99. So it's not a, you know, I would have liked it to be a little bit more like, dang, Kickstarter's really got a good deal, but I'm still not that salty about it, you know. So I thought it was fair. It was fair, okay? The controller. Looks like we know what the controller is. I was reading the forum. Some people like, hey, that's a Red Samurai controller. And it definitely looks like it. Also, this one right here looks a lot like this as well. But basically, the way controllers work is you get typically in China, wherever they're manufacturing the controllers, there's a mold. And then you can pay them to put any kind of branding, whatever you want on it. So I'm sure they're using some common mold and then just you know, making it look very plain and vanilla. It is going to have a 2.4 gigahertz USB dongle, so it'll be plug and play. You won't have to set up your Bluetooth. Now, there is a caveat. A lot of people had this question, which was, hey, Dreamcade, when you guys had your Kickstarter, in this photo here, you show it with the 8-bit-o NES Pro controller. I want my 8-bit-o. I don't want that Red Samurai, that red generic controller. I want my 8-bit-o. Well, so here's how it works. If you ordered the 129, from what I understand, I'm not 100%, but this is what I understand. If you order the 129, you do get this controller right here. You have no option. If you ordered the 159, I believe they give you the option to get the second controller, not both, but the additional second controller as the 8-bit-o NES Pro, this little controller on the right here. So if you order the 159, I would recommend you to make sure you tell them like, hey, I want the 8-bit-o. Just because to me, I think it's a more expensive controller. It's a little nicer, a little more bling bling. But I actually don't like that controller because it's so small, but everyone else seems to love it. So you might want to give it a shot. And worst case, you could sell it, buy a different controller. Okay, what else do we have here? Optional buying things. So we're going to start with the backers. So they have the optional hard drive bay, $20. You can get that hard drive bay with a 1 terabyte hard drive in it for $90. I probably wouldn't do this. The way I'm going to run the setup is probably just run an external portable hard drive out of one of the USBs. Just because 1 terabyte is not going to be enough, guys. You're going to want at least 2 terabytes. It actually might be enough, but go big or go home, right? So we already talked about this. You can reorder it. You can add a M2 slot, so a much faster hard drive. But I wouldn't do that just because I can order a 64 gigabyte micro SD card for $20. So, and then 120, I can order a 128 gigabyte micro SD for around $37.99 right now. So I probably wouldn't do that. Easy TV mount. You can mount it on the back of your TV, you know, kind of incognito. And then their own controller with the 2.4 gigahertz dongle. One benefit to using their controller is it's already kind of been tested and pre-configured, so you can guarantee that you're not going to have any kind of pairing issues. But I can tell you right now that if you use a GameSir controller or something like that, it'll work just as well. Extra power supply. This is just like for people who are lazy that want to keep the power supply plugged in like upstairs and downstairs and just move it around. I don't know. And then mini keyboard. This is an Air mouse. You can buy it yourself on Amazon, or you can buy it through them. It's up to you. We looked at the photos. Cool stuff. And then now back to the regular store. So for those of you that did not do the Kickstarter, you do have to pay a little bit more. So for example, this $129 is actually going to be $149. You have to pay an extra $20 for this bundle here, which is this plus this. If you just want the base, it's $129 without the upgraded hard drive base. With the 1 terabyte, again, you save about $20. Right? Because if you add $90 plus $129, it equals $219. And right there, you get it with $219. So it's similar pricing. Dreamcade, okay, remember the M2 slots. So it's just a repeat. Everything is about $20 more. The other thing is I don't think you get free shipping. I think for shipping is not free on the, if you are not a Kickstarter where, I think free shipping on all upgrades, yeah. So because you already paid for the, you can't see that, guys, but because you already paid for your shipping in the Kickstarter, shipping is now free. And then also, you can't read this here, but it says only those who kickstarted for more than $99. So I believe that the Kickstarter allows you to donate like $10, $20, you know, and not actually get any of the perks, but like support the actual cause. So it sounds like you will not be able to is there a $99? Yeah, pledge $1 or the $19. So if you pledge the 1 or the 19, you will not be able to use this special pricing. You will be a mere mortal in the pre-launch pricing. The $20, you had to pay an extra $20 basically. So that's it. Let me know what you guys have for questions. What else? Did we finish this whole update? Yeah, and then community website. Cool. So we're all good there. So what are some questions here? Yes, we have audio. He's back. Looks like an Android TV box. Yeah, it is a mini computer. Nobody's like trying to dupe anybody. This is a mini computer that you can buy from China, blah, blah, blah. What I haven't talked about in this whole video, but I've talked about in the previous videos, is the front end. Do they have a photo of it here? No, they don't. What's up? But basically, let's mute this. Let's mute the volume here. Okay, where's the front end here? There you go. What people are buying is this front end right here, and the ability to download ROMs really easily and everything else. So this is something that's not talked about in this video yet, and that's what people are buying, which is going to be, you just drag and drop your ROMs. It's basically like having HyperPie or Motion Blue already installed on the system for you, all set up, and all you have to do is drag and drop your ROMs. That's basically what you're getting, and so that's pretty cool. Where when you buy an Android TV box, you got to go download the operating system, install the emulators, get RetroArch all set up, blah 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 blah. So that's one of the perks. What were they thinking? The old retro look looks so much better, says Leslie Gibson. I agree, dude. That's what we're left with. Hopefully we get a change there. Gary, so when will backers know when they will shop out? I think he means ship out. I hope they will let us know if they will have the reviews looked at before they ship out the backer units. Drew, your video's not working, only audio. What are you talking about? It should be working. Yeah, Dan, try again. You're looking for this. Okay, case is meh in my own. Yeah, see, a lot of people like the retro gaming. But see, this might not be a good like test group, because everyone in my chat is like used to, you know, the Raspberry Pi and retro gaming. So we are a biased group here, people. But yeah, I would have liked it to be retro. Can't wait for the cancel. Pi sales will drop sharply. I don't think Pi sales are going to drop sharply, because I mean the Odroid's even cheaper, and that hasn't really affected the thing. This is still like $129 compared to $35. But then again, you have to buy a controller. Yeah. So I mean, it's getting up there as far as price comparable. Does it play GameCube, PS2, Wii, N64, Dreamcast, PSP? It will not play GameCube from what I understand. It will also probably not play PS2 and Wii from what I understand. It will play N64, Dreamcast, and PSP. No problem. I can guarantee you it'll play those. I ordered one with the controller just so I was assured to have something working first day. Yeah, and I mean, it's fine. You know the controller's going to work. The only proprietary thing is the software. The software and those cool decals, dude. Look at these cool decals on the front. Looks like the NUC with Android box skin. Exactly. It is. It's an Android box, guys. It's just they customized it and they added their software. Yeah, it does have Bluetooth built in, so if you have a Bluetooth controller, it should pair up. Any Bluetooth controller, the 8-bit-o Bluetooth controllers should work just fine. The GameSir Bluetooth controllers should work fine. The reason why I think they took out the retro look is due to the Atari releasing their console. That is correct. They were sued. They were threatened. I don't think they were sued, but they were threatened by Atari. That's why a lot of Atari games were removed. Atari is doing their own thing. They saw this as a competitor, and there you go. So basically, it's an overpriced Odroid that you don't have to build yourself. I think this has way better specs than the Odroid does. Odroid XU4 specs. Let's see, is it on here? So the Odroid is only 2 gigahertz. This is 2.4. I think it has more cores. The Odroid is how much RAM? It has 2 gigs of RAM, so it's double the RAM. The Odroid doesn't have onboard Wi-Fi. It doesn't have onboard Bluetooth. The Odroid doesn't have a 32 gigabyte hard drive. So, I mean, even from a hardware point, it still beats the Odroid from not only performance, but what you're getting. And then the other thing is it's a Windows PC. So what I'm really excited about is I can also use this as a streaming box. So I can stream my Steam games on it, and I can also watch Netflix on it. So that is a big perk for me personally that I'm looking forward to. Yeah, and a lot of people, specs or not, they'll emulate the same stuff. Yes and no. I don't think they're going to be able to emulation. Yes, I think the N64, the Dreamcast, but we'll see. We'll see. The other thing I'm interested in testing is like Killer Instinct for the arcade. Somebody tested Killer Instinct for the arcade on the Odroid XU4, and it was laggy as hell. And so I'll be interested to see how the Dreamcade replay emulates that. That'll be an interesting test. But yeah, as far as emulating like Dreamcast and N64, you're right, it should be similar specs. But as far as like Netflix and streaming and some other things, I think you will see a benefit. The other thing is it's Windows 10, so I can technically install Windows games and Steam and things like that. So you have a little bit more flexibility with the operating system, which is kind of a cool thing. But then it goes back to the argument of how is it different than any other small mini PC. And I think that's more of a closer argument, which is, you know, if I go buy a Cubby box, or is it called Cubby or QB, whatever, something like that. All right, guys, so that's the update. Exciting stuff. As far as the release date, they still have not announced it. I believe it should be end of this month, early next month is when all the backers should see their units. I'm hoping to get my hands on a testing unit, hopefully this week, maybe next week. And I'll be doing a review. Comment below or in the chat if you'd like me to do a particular test. One person asked me to do the Bad Fur Day game for Nintendo 64. They're like, hey, if it plays that game, my friend will buy one immediately. So I'll check out that game for you, buddy. But if any of other you have questions like that, please let me know, and I'll be sure to try to test it out. My setup, I'm probably going to just hook a 2 terabyte hard drive up to it with all the games I would typically put on a computer, and then just see kind of how those run and test the games. But it's exciting stuff. We're getting closer and closer, so that's good. Will aim track work with this unit? It should. It should work no problem. Will it play Steam games? Is it Windows 10? Yes and yes, but probably not like really hardcore Steam games. Hi, I'm on Drew's live chat instead of watching him. Lastly, wow, this is so cool. Michael from London. Thanks for stopping in, buddy. You won't be able to play some Steam games or not stream games on it. yeah, you probably want to stream them on Steam if it's like Fortnite or like or Counter-Strike, something like that. But if it's like a animated game, something like that, you could totally probably play it on this thing. If you have a Pi, it will only play Dreamcast, N64, PSP without problems, but that's it. And the Steam and some other things it will play. Yes, they made the stretch goal. Yeah, there should be. It's not going to be aim track light gun support. They have some other ones, but yeah, there is going to be some sort of light gun support here. Light gun support unlocked. So there you go. Okay, guys, with that, I'm going to end it. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to comment below any questions, things like that. Let me know what you guys think, whether it's about the release date or the actual final product that we're going to see, or some questions related to it. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we're going to catch you all on the next one, hopefully soon.